Valentine's Day got me wondering, who is the best current real-life wrestling couple? So, I did some research, and I think I've got an answer. But first, the ground rules. Couples will be ranked based on their win-loss record in televised WWE matches only. If the match wasn't on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, the Mixed Match Challenge, or a pay-per-view or PLE, I didn't count it. Also, no thruples. If the match featured more than 2 wrestlers on the team of the couple in question, I didn't count it. And the final rule, this is just a bit of silly fun. It doesn't reflect my personal feelings towards any of the wrestlers involved. So by all means, let me know in the comments who you think the best couple is from this list, but don't be weird about it. Okay, let's begin. At number 14 is Booker T and Sharmell. King Booker and Queen Sharmell were certainly a memorable act, and by the sounds of recent NXT commentary, they're still going strong as a couple. They even went on to team in 2 pay-per-view wins in TNA, but TNA isn't WWE, and this is a WWE video. Unfortunately, in WWE, they've lost 3 out of 3 matches they have tag teamed in, and 2 of them were 2-on-1 handicap matches, and they still lost. So, Booker T and Sharmell occupy the bottom spot in this list. Number 13, Keith Lee and Mia Yim. I've made no secret of my love of both of these wrestlers. However, they have only tagged together twice in televised WWE matches, 2 losing efforts on NXT to another couple who will feature later in this list, Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. I've ranked them above Booker and Sharmell because they have 1 fewer loss, and also both of their losses were in equal 2-on-2 matches, so not as embarrassing. Up next, we have 2 couples occupying joint 11th position. I'll talk about Emma and Madcap Moss first, as if I had to differentiate between the 2, I would put these in 12th. Emma and Moss teamed up once in a televised WWE match in a losing effort to Karrion Kross and Scarlett on SmackDown in 2023. I don't remember anything significant about this match, but I do know that they're still together and currently expecting their first baby, so congratulations to them. The other couple in joint 11th are Mike and Maria Kanellis, or Bennett, or whatever. The Bennetts have also only had 1 match together, a losing effort on Raw in 2019. However, this match, which pitted them against Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, is slightly more memorable, due to Maria announcing she was pregnant in the middle of the match. Mike and Maria and Emma and Madcap Moss share 11th position on this list based on wins and losses, but I think Mike and Maria were a more memorable tag team for WWE fans just because of this moment. In 10th spot are The Miz and Maurice. The It couple have tons of on-screen chemistry and are hugely entertaining, and if this list were my favourite WWE couples, they'd surely be high on the list, but it isn't. Alas, Miz and Maurice have teamed up 3 times and won only once. But hey, at least they're the first couple on this list with a win, right? Next we have another tie, this time for joint 8th on the list. The first team I'll discuss is Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. They've had 2 tag team matches together and won 1. They won a throwaway 2-minute match against Maurice and Ted DiBiase Jr. on Raw back in 2010. And they were the victims of the Miz and Maurice's only tag team win at Hell in a Cell 2018. As of AEW All in London last year, Brie and Bryan are still happily married and have 2 children together. And Bryan has retired from full-time in-ring competition to spend more time with his family. Also in joint 8th are Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. While this couple have run the show quite literally on screen and behind the scenes at various points in WWE history, their win-loss record is identical to that of Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. 1 win out of 2. Their 1 victory came at the expense of Kurt Angle and Trish Stratus on Raw in 2001. And their 1 loss also featured Kurt Angle, this time tagging with Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 34, which is why I've placed them in the 8A position, as that match was really good and also took place on a much bigger stage than anything Bryan and Brie have been in together. In 7th, also with a 50-50 win-loss record, but more matches and therefore more wins, are Natalya and Tyson Kidd. Kidd had to retire from in-ring competition nearly a decade ago now, but before he did, he and Natalya competed 6 times as a tag team, winning 3. 2 of their wins came over Adam Rose and The Bunny, and the other over Fandango and Summer Rae. And their losses were at the hands of Jimmy Uso and Naomi, Eve and Zack Ryder, and Finlay and Hornswoggle. Moving on. In 6th place are Jimmy Uso and Naomi. Big Jim and his tag team champion wife are the first team on this list with a better than 50% winning record, but only just. with 5 wins out of 9 matches. 7 of those matches were in the Mixed Match Challenges back in 2018, but so were all 4 of their losses, meaning that in regular televised matches, this pair are actually undefeated, with wins over Natalya and Tyson Kidd on Raw in 2015, and Aiden English and Lana on SmackDown in 2018. This would put them in joint second on this list, but the Mixed Match Challenges are canon events that have been referenced on regular WWE programming and were broadcast, so unfortunately, they do count, leaving Jimmy and Naomi in 6th. In 5th position with an impressive 3 wins out of 4 matches, Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. Both are members of the SmackDown roster now, and Johnny Wrestling is one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions. But before they came to the main roster, Mr. and Mrs. Wrestling teamed up 4 times in NXT, beating Keith Lee and Mia Yim twice, as well as the impressive team of Damian Priest and Io Shirai in 2020. And they lost to the baffling sounding team of Kushida and Shotzi Blackheart. They also have quite the history on the indies before landing in WWE, both as a team and battling against each other, but none of that counts towards their position on this list. Up next is a 3-way tie for 2nd place. I'll start with Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Despite a hugely entertaining entrance and a dominant run for Kross in NXT, and Scarlett more than showing she can go in the ring when she's had the opportunity, this married couple have only teamed up twice on WWE TV. The good news is that they won both of these matches, one against AJ Styles and Mia Yim, and one against Emma and Madcap Moss, both on SmackDown in 2023. I don't recall either match despite watching WWE at the time, and both sound like fairly throwaway matches, so Kross and Scarlett occupy the 2C spot in this list. To be, or not to be, was seemingly never a question for this next couple, AJ Lee and CM Punk. AJ and CM have also only competed twice as a tag team, and both matches were also fairly throwaway on WWE TV, this time on Raw in 2012. There's a few reasons I consider AJ Lee and CM Punk slightly more prestigious as a tag team than Karrion Kross and Scarlett. The first is that their matches did contribute slightly to a storyline, as they battled Daniel Bryan in both, who had a feud with Punk that sometimes involved AJ in 2012. But the second reason is Bryan's partners in those matches. One was Eve Torres, and the other was Kane. That's right, AJ Lee holds a victory over Kane in a 2-men versus 1-man and 1-woman tag team match. And my third reason is I'm a CM Punk mark. But honestly, even without that, I think their wins were slightly more significant than those of Kross and Scarlett. And the final couple in joint second, the de facto 2A team, are the grit couple, Beth Phoenix and Edge. Mr. and Mrs. Copeland have also teamed twice and won twice, but both of their matches were on premium live events, with victories over The Miz and Maurice and Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley at Royal Rumble 2022 and Elimination Chamber 2023 respectively. Their matches both being the culminations of storylines and at PLEs gives them the edge, get it, out of the 3 couples with 2 wins out of 2 in my opinion, so they get the 2A spot. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the couple with the best win-loss record in WWE history. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Their time as a tag team was short, with all 3 of their matches spanning just 2 weeks in July 2019, but they won all 3 of them, beating Mike and Maria Kanellis and Andrade and Zelina Vega in warm-up matches on Raw, before successfully defending both their WWE Universal and WWE Raw Women's Championships against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans at Extreme Rules 2019. As the only couple with 3 wins out of 3 matches, and the only couple to successfully defend World Championships in a mixed tag team match, I think it's pretty clear that the man and the freaky one deserve their spot atop this particular mountain. What do you think though? Is there more to it than simple wins and losses? If so, who is your top real life wrestling couple and why? I hope you have a lovely Valentine's Day, and if you're not celebrating for whatever reason, an excellent Friday. As a Valentine's Day gift to me, I'd love it if you'd hit the like and subscribe buttons, as both really help me out. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been EBEZA, you've been amazing, and I'll see you next time.